Hello, everybody out there. What do you want? That's what we're going to be diving in today in episode 165. So if you're ready, let's get started.
Hey Jeff.
Hey Doreen, how are you?
I'm good. It is pouring rain.
Pouring down rain.
So if you hear that, we have one of those, what do they call them?
Skylights.
Skylights,
Yeah.
and it's rather noisy. There's also a lot of thunder and lightning. We live in Boca Raton, Florida on the water, and it is a typical late afternoon summer day
Yes.
here. So in about, I would say, half an hour or so, it'll be fine.
As soon as we're done with the podcast, it'll stop raining.
It'll be sunny again because this is how it goes. We say in Florida, if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes, right?
Exactly.
So let's talk about what you want. Isn't there a song on that?
Tell me what you want.
What
you really want.
Yeah, Spice Girls, right?
Yeah, and the answer to that question is, I want my baby back, baby back.
No, that's a different.
No, it's not.
I think you're aging yourself.
Okay, well, baby back ribs are pretty good.
Okay, so listen, what you want? What do you want? Jeff, what do you want?
Well, that's the first, when I get a new client, I think that's the one thing that I try to develop with them is clarity on what they want their future to look like. And I mean, for themselves, by themselves, thinking for themselves, not for anybody else, what they want, what your spouse wants.
Well, your ex.
or your ex-spouse, or whatever the case might be.
Some people, even after the divorce, their exes still control them.
Yeah, or it could be their
really
friends.
do.
Yeah, their friends,
Could
or
be
their
friends,
their
or
parents.
their family,
Yes.
but yeah, that happens.
So we
Their
determine,
children.
so we determine what it is that they really want for themselves, and that opens up the clarity and opens up the skies, and now they have direct focus on what they need to go for.
That's a hard answer or a hard question for a lot of people, but I think that the beauty of divorce, because there are a lot of good things about divorce. Divorce gets a bad rap, right?
I agree.
I mean, it really gets a bad rap. Why is it that you say that your marriage failed? You could equally say your marriage was a success, as an example. It means maybe it failed at that time. Was it really a failure? Maybe you have years of a lot of great memories and happiness and children together.
Yeah, well, it's all about your thoughts. I mean, if you're thinking that the divorce served its purpose, we had some great times.
The divorce or the marriage?
The marriage, well, the divorce served purpose too.
Yeah,
but the marriage served its purpose. We have some great kids, and you had some great times. And now it's time to move on and start a new chapter in my life, and maybe meet somebody new and see what happens.
Well,
it's a time of reinvention. It's going to be a very, very good time.
You seem very excited. Are you very excited?
I'm excited.
Okay. But what I was saying, calm down.
Okay.
Calm down.
Calming down.
Calm down. I know you're all excited about this topic.
Yeah.
Is divorce pushes you into a place where you have to make choices that are different than what your life looked like the day before. You are forced into new situations. You no longer have your spouse there. That changes everything. Maybe you move into a new place. Maybe you're getting into a new career as a result of having to be, look for ways to make dollars yourself.
Right.
All kinds of stuff. The kids, new things going on with the kids. So the beauty of divorce, one of the benefits is it gives you the opportunity to really rethink the rest of your life. Right?
Right.
Or at least the next number of years. And we talk about wants. We talk about the small wants, the daily wants, the monthly wants, the yearly wants, and the future wants. Like, you look at all of the various aspects of life and what's important to you. So I like that. We have a family member recently who was made a decision to end their relationship. And I think that's super courageous and bold because sometimes decisions about your future your relationship should really be had, not sometimes, all the time. Especially when you're getting divorced, and if you are at a place in your life where you understand what you want on some level, and the person that you're with has very different ideas of their wants, and they don't align, that's an issue,
Sure.
right? I'm talking the bigger picture in relationships, like maybe where you're going to live, or maybe even the lifestyle that you want to live. Kids, responsibilities in the relationship, who does what, right? Like those types of things. Those are things I wish they had some kind of a test. Compatibility test that they required before you got married. I'm saying that tongue in cheek, but I think it's really important before you get in deep into a relationship again that you think about your compatibility with someone and make sure you have similar, you call them what?
Well, they're called want matches.
Right.
And it kind of reminds me of the old-fashioned matchmaker. You know, oh, they want kids, you want kids. Oh, it's a perfect match.
Right.
But, you know, I think that when you talk about it as a couple, maybe early in the relationship, or, you know, when you know you're starting to get serious, there probably is some serious wants that you have to discuss with each other.
I think it's so important, and it doesn't matter what age you are, whether you're younger, like our family member who's thinking about their future,
Right.
and what that's going to look like, and what they expect as similar matches in a relationship, or you're, you know, in your later years in life, and you're looking for compatibility, right? So let's talk about it.
Okay.
So what do you do? How do you get there?
Well,
I think the first thing you do is figure out what you want.
exactly.
You know, do some deep diving on that as in a personal level. Or if that's challenging for you, maybe you start with what you don't want. Right?
Well, that's part of your wants.
Well, maybe it's challenging for some of the listeners to understand what they
Well, I
really
don't understand.
want.
It's just like your actions. Inaction is an action. Don't want is still a want.
What?
When you don't want something, that's just a negative perspective on something. But when you
Well, I don't
want,
know that
when
it's
you
negative. I disagree
well,
with
no.
that.
If you say I don't want
want someone that doesn't have any savings, okay?
Okay.
Doesn't have enough to be able to take care of themselves in the future.
right, so you
okay?
can easily say I want somebody with savings.
Right, but what I'm suggesting, Jeff, was that if you're having challenges getting down to what you want, start with what you don't want to start to get to what you do want. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, I'll agree with you.
You don't agree?
I agree.
Okay.
I just don't want to argue.
I'm not arguing with you.
I want to agree with you.
I just don't know where sometimes you're going with things.
Well, no, it's just saying the same thing. Don't want kids, and it's the same thing as saying I don't want to have kids.
Right, that's not what let's not belabor the point. But
Yes.
I'm saying a lot of people have a hard time figuring out what they do want.
It's a very tough thing.
Then start with what you don't want.
Exactly. Okay.
There's probably some things that are like on your no-hit list. It's like, no, that's unacceptable, and I'm suggesting go there if you have challenges. That's it.
That's a good thing.
So let's talk about how other parts about the wanting, because I did this episode numbers, I think it was 51.
Yes.
When I was doing the podcast myself, and it was under a different name, Your Amazing Divorce, and so then we thought we would do it again, right?
Yes. And also the other thing that I want to bring up when we talk about your wants and your don't wants is you have to really have true conviction. Meaning,
You don't have to do anything.
well, I mean, you want to have true conviction in that these wants are so strong to you, or your don't wants are so strong that you can give up a relationship because they're so important to you.
Right.
You know, and you stick to them, just like any goals that you want.
Well-
You're going to have obstacles, but you don't want to give up your wants for somebody else.
Right. And that's a great statement, and I think everybody agrees with you. Probably, most people.
Yeah. And
So tell us an example of something that you...
well, that's the example you just gave.
Wait, I didn't finish the question.
Okay, go ahead.
What's the question?
No, you were asking the question.
Yeah, I was saying, give us an example of something that maybe you gave up, that you wanted, that maybe you now I don't want to say regret, because we talked about regret last week.
Yeah.
But at the time, when you look back at it, you wish you would have explored that option.
I have two examples. Probably one when I wanted to be a marine biologist when I was very, very small, and I had a...
Small or young?
I was both. Well, maybe I wasn't as small as some people think I was, but I had a passion for the ocean, passion for the diving, and I wanted to be a marine biologist. And for some reason, I just went in a different direction.
Right.
Then.
Well, wait a second. Let's not leave that.
Oh, I was getting out of there. Go ahead.
Yeah. Why? Looking back, why? Well, first of all, how old were you?
I don't think my conviction. I was, in high school.
Okay.
17,
all right.
18.
So, I mean, in the point of your life where it really starts to matter as to where you're going to place your educational study.
And I think I let other people influence my wants, which I'm not saying that it should, because you listen to your parents, you listen to your friends, you listen to your teachers, and you try to learn as much as you can. But who's saying they know more about you than you do?
Right. So let me summarize. So when you were in high school, there was a point that you had a strong desire to get into marine biology.
Right.
And for some reason, either because of your parents or other people that you looked up to, probably your teachers, etc., they swayed you in a different direction.
Yes.
And you as a young man, a young person, decided to heed that advice, as we would say, and go with it.
Correct.
We were watching something the other day. You think it was America's Got Talent or something, but I'm not sure if that's what it was, or it was something on television while we were making dinner or whatever. And the parent was talking about their child and basically saying that they are so proud of permitting their children the opportunity, not pushing them in direction.
Right.
Not saying you need to go to college and you need to do this and you've got to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever it is. And because of that, I think it was a young lady, pursued her career, her passion, and became a superstar. And I just can't remember who it was. So
I thought it was the young kid that was really handsome, and he sang amazing. He was going to be the next Justin Bieber.
Well, that's what we said. He's going to be the next.
But I thought he
Justin
said it was
Bieber.
his parents that
let him
kind of pursue whatever he wanted.
Yeah. But I think that's something also, not to get too much down the weeds, but for the parents out there, we all want our children to go in a certain direction, and we have these ideas, these ideology of who they should be, and maybe some of these thought processes come from what our parents expected of us in society. But it's I don't know. I just think it's so important for us as humans, and especially when you're young and you're learning and you're educating yourself and getting through on to your next, your life and your career. Explore something that you really want, that's passionate for you, because we all know, all of you out there that are working in a career that you do not enjoy, that you do not like, that you do not feel passion for, it's challenging to get up in the morning and go to work. There's a lack of energy, there's a lack of happiness, you just don't feel it comes natural to you. I'm in this coaching practice called strategic coach, which is business coaching, because yes, I do believe in coaching. And one of the things that we study is our unique abilities, and finding what that looks like so that you can really have that passion in what you're doing in life, right?
Yes. I have a quote from you.
Wait, did we finish that? Because you like to move on to another subject.
It's the same subject.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Because not only are we trying to find the unique abilities and the passion and the wants for ourselves in my business, we're trying to find the passions and unique abilities of my employees as part of the coaching, so that we can place people into seats, into positions that they feel energized and happy about. And I think it's a beautiful thing. As a matter of fact, we have a book club. We'll be meeting next Wednesday at my house for my team, where we're exploring and reading the Unique Abilities book and doing the work on it, because I think it's important to place people in their happy zone.
Well, it's not only that, as a business owner, it's more productive and better for the business to have people in their right positions.
Well, that's the whole point.
Yeah. So,
The point is, if you have, look, having unhappy employees that leave and move on because they're not in the right place is not great. So if you can work in, so what, the whole thing starting from our children, having our children pursue their passion, you know, come on, it's within reason, right?
Yes.
We don't want to be silly about it, and we certainly want to be cognitive of their ability to earn dollars and all that, but they have to have something passionate. I wish that they had in college or even high school level these types of classes where they talked more about what we teach in coaching, about thoughts, thought work, how thoughts create feelings, actions, results, and how your thoughts, we have 60,000 of them, and if you understand them and you use them to get the results you want in your life, how it's magic.
it is.
Or how about a class on really, not some career development guidance counselor, and credence to them, they do a great job, but I'm talking about a class on it, really understanding it, you know. Anyhow, that's my side note.
Well, I'm gonna give you that quote.
Okay, go.
You said,
Yeah.
not living your life based on your wants is like living a life of a lie.
It is.
I think it's great.
It is.
Or if you're living your life based on somebody else's wants.
It is. I mean, we all have to do things that we don't want to do. There's no question about it, right? That's, if not, we would all, like, I don't know, it would be probably a happier world on a lot of levels, but it wouldn't be necessarily always productive. So there are things we have to do, right? We get that.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that at your responsibilities and, you know, whatever you have to do, but we're really talking about the bigger things,
Yeah.
right?
And that's one of the beauties of divorce, is you now get to live your life the way you want to.
Yeah.
You're free.
Well, I don't know that you're necessarily free, because I don't know what you mean by that.
Free to do what you want.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
if you really have a passion for something you want, there should be nothing holding you back now.
right. Well, I'll tell you what holds you back. Once you figure out what you want, what you really, really want.
Tell me what you want.
What holds you back is your crazy brain, your monkey brain, your
primitive
brain. Because if you know what you want, then I'll call it just reverse engineer it.
Right.
Right? If you want to do whatever, now you know what you have to do, and if you don't know what you have to do to get there, you can research it, you can hire a consultant, you can figure it out. There's no question in today's world you can definitely figure out what you need to do to get there. But what happens is we don't want to do it. A lot of times we don't want to get up and do the hard things. We don't want to take the hard road, which there is no easy way to get what you want. It doesn't work that way in life. You have to put the time in. You gotta put the muscle in. You gotta put the energy in. So when your primitive brain says, no, I'd rather stay under the covers because it's raining right now and I really don't feel like doing a podcast, I'd rather just like hang out, which by the way, is not what I feel, because I really, really, really want to do this.
Really?
You know, you don't do that because you're focused on your goal.
Unless you have small goals. You have to have big goals, that push you. I know you don't have to have anything. What I'm saying is some people, that's the way they want to live their lives, and that's fine with them. If you want to have big goals and you want to have goals that push you, you can't live in your primitive brain, because you're right. And you're not going to want to do things that are uncomfortable, things that are difficult, things that push you.
It is.
So you have to use your prefrontal cortex, the planning brain, the goal-setting brain, the brain that invented the iPhone. I mean, this is the brain that makes you do things that some people think at one time were impossible.
Right.
You know.
All right, so.
What do you want?
No, I think that there's, you know, it's more about, you said something that I wanted to touch on, about the small things versus the big things. There are different levels of wants, your wants, right? And so obviously it's going to be harder to get the bigger things, most likely.
Right. Well, in the beginning of the podcast, you said there's the little things, the big things, the things that you want now in this hour, and the things that you want in the next year. So.
Well, here's another thing I want to suggest is that the problem with not doing what you want, and especially if you're sacrificing for somebody else's wants, is that you deny yourself of who you are. And the world misses out. I think this is what you were saying about Apple. The world misses out on what you could have been.
Or what you could have contributed
That's
to the
what
world.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The world misses out on that. If you don't try to do what you want, and you could have done something amazing to help the world, to bring something new to the world, to save the world, to whatever it is, you're really depriving the world of all of your amazingness, all your beauty, all of the things that you're so special, that are so special to honoring yourself and respecting your desires and respecting everyone else by giving them that opportunity.
Yeah, that's probably one of the strongest points of the podcast. I really like that.
But also, Jeff, there's a lot of resentment, I think, that goes around or goes along with not doing what you want. And I think that is a big thing as well. I think that a lot of, there's this ongoing resentment of, well, I have to do this, and I gotta, do all these things that I don't want to do. And the truth is, if you really want to strip it down, you don't have to do anything.
Right?
Right? You may think you have to do it, but you don't have to get out of bed. You don't have to take your kids to school. You don't have to make dinner. You don't have to do the laundry. You don't have to go to work. You don't have to pay your bills. You don't have to do anything. There's no one that says you have to do these things. You have choices, right? What I'm saying, and it sounds kind of extreme, is everything we do is a decision, right? And it may be for somebody else. And if you're doing something for someone else, do it for the right reasons. Do it because even though it may not be the thing you want to do, for example, making dinner, because you're tired and you just got home and you're just not one of those people that enjoys to cook, but you want to provide a nice meal for your family, then your want is providing the nice meal, even though you don't like cooking. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
yeah. There's also the people-pleasing aspect of it.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast, isn't it?
Well, we've talked about that
We've done a
before.
podcast on people-pleasing before, but I think that sometimes when you do something for somebody else, or you do something for yourself based on what somebody else wants or wants for you, you're trying to be a people pleaser, or you become a people pleaser.
Well, and people pleasing includes what society thinks as well, right? I think there's some people that they stay within these norms of what society, what the expectations are in whatever group they're involved in. Even social media now is kind of dictating what is and is not acceptable. And like, I really worry a lot about the influence that these venues, these platforms have over what people really want in life versus what they're doing just to kind of fit in. Who wants to fit in? I mean, don't you want to be someone that has your own identity? Maybe
purpose.
Be a trend setter and not a trend follower, right? Make your own trend. Come from the heart of what that looks like. And I think when you do something from a place of being authentic, it shows.
Yeah. Well, I think it all boils down to what it is you truly want. I mean, there's plenty of reasons why we don't go for it, and we kind of almost lie to ourselves or give ourselves excuses, give ourselves reason why we're not going to do something based on this, that, and the other thing. There's so many examples we could probably come up with, but going against the grain is basically going for what you want based on what you want. That's a little redundant, but it's true. If you really are going, really are going for what you truly want, whether it's something against what your parents think, your friends think, you're going to be, rubbing some elbows the wrong way, and that's okay.
It is, but for many people that it's challenging to do that, and so you can't just. I think it's important that we can dictate we can say the words like do what you really want. Okay, well that kind of makes sense to anybody, right? Do what you really want. Don't do something for someone else. Like these are all kind of cliches, right?
Yeah.
That's easy to understand. The question is why are you not doing it?
I remember there was one show on.
The question is why. For those out there that are not doing what they really want, the question is why. Okay, that's important.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you saw something.
No, I saw something on TV the other day that may have been what you were talking about earlier, maybe it wasn't, but there was a singer, she wanted to go to Europe to pursue her singing career, and her dad allowed her to go at 15 years old.
You don't know the name? Oh, no, you have to find the name. It begins with a D.
Like Dua.
No, it's
Dua.
not.
Yeah, it was Dua.
No, it's not, Jeff. No, it's not. Where's your phone? It's being used to record. Okay. Well, we are old, which means we don't know
Let
what
us
everybody
know.
knows, and it's anyhow. So when we're going to talk about somebody, we probably need to try to know the name.
Yeah,
but
I just had a thought
she's
about it
very
because she's very famous now, and
she's a young singer. Yeah.
And her dad just put her on a plane, 15 years old, and said, "Do what you want to do."
Well, it was a little more.
Very supportive.
It was a little more than that. So let's just not say it was that her dad put her on a plane. It was a little more structured than that, and let's move on from that,
Okay.
right? Okay.
All right.
All right, everybody. So, what do you want? What do you really, really want?
Okay.
All right.
Well, we'll talk to you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Have a
good
great one. Don't forget to follow us on social media for more empowering content, tips, and inspiration to help you thrive after divorce. And if you're ready to take the next step in your journey, don't miss out on our free 30-minute coaching session. It's a great opportunity to get personalized guidance and support for wherever you are in your divorce journey. Just visit the link in our description to book your appointment.